Morning, guys. So I have a really interesting idea to share. This download just came in, or this realization just came in, and it has to do with freedom of expression on social media and why we should be free and share our truth and express our truth. And the realization is that when we share something and post something on social media, the version of us that posted that is already gone. We are already a different person. Like the instant you press publish on a post, that version of you is no longer. So that post is actually like a fossil. It's a thing that has passed. It's something that happened in the past. So as a people-pleasing creative, this is a term that I've been using. I feel like it's accurate. Or a perfectionist creative, as someone who has a lot to say and share online and in life, my conversations are always about life, but sometimes talking about social media. It's a good way to ground these lessons and realizations. But there's a tendency when posting on social media to freak out about it, to kind of constantly refresh, check the stats, check the numbers, see how people are responding. Maybe feel self-conscious if it's not getting a lot of views and engagement. Maybe feel really good if it's getting a lot of views and positive engagement. Maybe feel really triggered, like what happened to me recently that I discussed in the last episode, if there's negative feedback, criticism, judgmental feedback, etc. And all of these tendencies, they kind of, it seems to me, at least in my own experience, it stems from a misconception that when we post something on social media, that post has something to do with us as a person. But this realization came to me that no matter what people comment or don't comment, and no matter how many people see or don't see that post, that's a thing of the past. It's no longer me. So if all these comments come in, these comments are talking about this fossil. Yes, it came through my being at a certain moment of time, but the moment it came out and was put out into the world, even before I pressed published, it was already finished. It was done. It was in the past. So in the last video, I talked about how when you share something on social media, everyone's going to perceive. This always happens when I record in the morning. When you post on social media, everyone is going to perceive that post differently through the lens of their perspective and their past experiences, etc. Everyone's going to have a different experience of that post. So it's impossible to please everybody, right? It's a futile approach. And I made an argument that therefore you should just be true and be free and follow your heart. But I'm furthering that idea now by saying that there's even more of a separation between you, the real you, and that post than I even realized when I made that previous video. Because yes, it's true. When you post something online, everyone has a different perspective of it. But it's like this post isn't here. It's like here. It's this thing of the past now. I'm over here. I might be looking this way. Doing something else, my perspective might have completely changed. So it's just really interesting and I think freeing to think about self-expression in this way. You know, the other thing that led me to this realization is I was like, looking at my old posts and my old profiles, and I was finding it so strange. I was like, there's something weird about this. And I realized, like, if we were out in our tribes in the good old days, living life, hunting, gathering, expressing ourselves at the hangouts by the fire or whatever, life would just be this open flow of expression and action. There would be no way to look at what we said yesterday and like look at all the feedback and analyze the response, and that just wouldn't be a thing. So to share something on social media, it's very, very unnatural. It doesn't coincide with our natural state of being to be able to still see that post living there, right? Because like I said, it's a dead thing. But because of social media, we can still see that past expression, which is not a natural thing. And so this introduces a problem for us, because then we can fall into that tendency to think that that post of the past has something to do with us, and we could stay fixated on it and worried about what people are saying or how people are responding or not responding to a version of us that is gone. And then we're caught up using our energy in the past instead of the present. This is why I keep sharing this idea of, it's funny, I call it turbo posting and ghosting. Shifting from consuming on social media to being a creator on social media, and also in life. Always remember, these social media discussions are also about life. Posting and ghosting. Expressing and moving on. Let the world respond to it as it does. You've already changed. You're new now in this moment. So this seems to be a liberating realization and perspective to me, that if we're able to keep it in mind, we'll have a lot more freedom. We'll be able to move in more freedom, truth, and love, and express more truth and follow our hearts. Now, it's kind of easy to visualize this when it comes to posting on social media, right? Like, the fridge buzz just went on. Now I'm actually going to feel like I can talk louder. Right, you post something and it's a phantom. It's something that passed through you and it's already done. But could you, so if you're connecting to this idea that I'm sharing, could you extrapolate it to just being and acting in the world? Right, you're walking around the world, interacting with the world, talking to people, entering situations, expressing yourself, speaking, listening. Could you not apply the same idea? Like when you're talking to the barista and you're giving your order, there's this expression flowing through you, but the moment your voice lands in the barista's ears, has it not already passed? So then in every waking moment that we're moving through, are other people not just seeing this phantom projection? So if you're connecting to this idea, again, what do we do with this? What do we do with this? Because it's kind of crazy, right? Especially as a recovering people pleaser, it's like, oh wait, nobody can even see me. Nobody can even know me. Not only is everything this phantom projection, it's not only that, but like what I said, everyone also has an individual perspective of it. So how futile to live in accordance with other people's opinions. I think that's one thing that we do with this realization is we stop living that way, or trying to stop living that way. And then the other thing is I think we use this as fuel, like I said, to live in more authenticity, truth, freedom, love, to follow our hearts more relentlessly, to be messy, to be creative, to be loving, to follow our internal tuggings, even if they're non-conventional and may turn heads and attract judgment and criticism. I think it always comes down to just be you and follow your heart. I think it really is as simple as that. And it's certainly a challenge to keep these realizations at top of mind, because the ingrained conditioning runs so deep. The ingrained conditioning to people please and perform and all of that shit. It's so deep. So figuring out how to keep these truths at the top of mind as we act and as we're in the world and as we get triggered and our old conditioning rears its head, how do we keep this stuff in mind? I think there are several things that have been helping me in this phase of life, and I'll just list them out. Meditation. This is a very direct one because it keeps the mind sharp, so I feel I'm more able to kind of catch it when I start to lose these realizations. Having mentors is a pretty new one for me that has been a huge help too, because when I don't catch it, I'm able to reach out to these mentors. Like I shared in the last episode, also having like-minded community, similar. It's like another net that can catch you before you completely fall into fear. I think sobriety is helping a lot too. I'm over 100 days alcohol free and over 70 days weed free. I think similar to meditation, that is a habit that's helping me keep my mind sharp. Those things are really helping a lot. And I'll leave a link to a video. I did have a conversation with one of my mentors that really helped me come to this clarity, which unfortunately I can't show you that conversation. It's already a phantom, but I will link below to another phantom, which is a video of a spiritual teacher I had never heard of before, but just came across, where his name is Papa G. And he does a nice job of expressing how everything is past. When I actually watched that video, I didn't understand. But I think the fact that I had watched this video was another reason I was able to come to this realization. On Patreon, I'm going to scan in the journal entry that I scribbled when I woke up at 5 a.m. and had this epiphany. And I also have a picture that I'll share on Patreon. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic in the comments below. I hope you found this interesting, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.